Good afternoon, everybody. We are actually going to be shooting a video while we work on this today. I'm not sure which channel this is going to go on just yet, but let me go live on Amazon real quick here. Because a viewer, Nick F., pointed this out to me the other day. And hang on, let me put a chat on the Amazon thing here. We are recording a video during this live stream. So a viewer, Nick F., had suggested that I pick this up. And so I did. It's like 30 bucks. And I'm not sure, again, what channel we're going to put this on. This thing, so I don't even know if it's going to work. And the reason is that my wife ran it over the box with the minivan the other day. So you can see the box got a little squished because the car ran it over. But when I took it out, it looked fine. Like there's a little crack on the side here. I'll put it up. It's like a little bit of a thing there, but I think it's going to be okay. We will see. Because one of the things that I was worried about was that in the manual it says don't touch the hands. So like this thing is super. It's got to be super brittle. So don't mess with the hands, right? So I figured I would just do a quick video on it because why not? These Amazon devices actually do pretty well on the channel, and they do well on Amazon because I put videos on Amazon too. So I figured I would do both here, both here. So let me say hello to some folks. And like I said, I'm recording a video while we stream, so you're going to see me, and I'll put this in the chat so people don't wonder why things are repeating. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, I mean, it's neat. Now, what these do is they link up via Bluetooth to specific devices, so they don't live on the network by themselves. They need to be within Bluetooth range of an Echo device. So we have my Echo Show here that is going to link up via Bluetooth to the clock. And we're going to see what the process is. So what I'm going to do next is we are shooting a video live while we stream. What I'm going to do next, and I'm first going to say hello to some of you folks, is I am going to record the next step of the review, and then we're going to set it up and just kind of work our way through the process here. And we'll probably get to one other thing. I also got in, this is like a real quick one. This is one of these little stands that works with your iPhone's MagSafe connector. So if we have time, I'm going to shoot a quick review on this because it just kind of stands your phone up. That's all it does. But you can turn the phone around. Isn't that cool? And it's got like a little spot for like a credit card or something in there too, and it connects to the MagSafe on the back. So if we have time, I'm going to shoot a real quick one on this. It's nice. I mean, it's like one of these really clever little devices, but it's expensive. It's like $30 for this thing, which I think is a little bit too much to ask, to be honest. But the quality's there. I don't think it's leather though. It feels like the skin of a naga. Naga hide is what they. My father used to be in the leather business, so we used to call naga hide the skin of the naga. Because as you know, leather is usually a cow, right? So let me take some hello. First of all, say hello to some folks, and then we'll get into the actual shooting of the video here. So we have, let me start putting names up. In fact, you know, I didn't get my title up either, so let's put that up on screen. I just did a massive upgrade of my production computer. So hopefully, if you see any drop frames or something, let me know, because I updated, oh, sorry. So my trigger word is computer on this thing. No, don't, stop. So I'm going to mute it real quick. So I did a BIOS update, and I updated all the system drivers, and then I also updated the video card drivers. Like I just updated everything this morning. So if something's going to break, it's going to happen now. So we'll see what happens. So Joe Tyson is here. My tech guy is here. Cedar Lake is here. All the usuals are popping in, as Billy Joel would sing. Romeric is here. Hello, from Paris, I believe. Jesse says, an Echo clock. Yes, this is an Echo clock. It works with your Echo. Russell Lashard is here. Yeah, the minivan run over edition. It did get run over by a minivan. So if it survived that, then we're going to be in good shape. Anthony Bianco is here. Oh, there's something new from Plex, the new Plex HTPC client. I did not see that. Is that new? They've had one for a while. Because I thought they were ending that client. So give me some more info on that, because that's the first I've heard of it. Server Boltic is here. Henrik is here from Sweden. Here's a good comment from Dennis Rogers. If you touch the hands and muck it up, if you take your hands off and place them at the right time, it will work. Yeah, they are really adamant about not touching. Do not touch this. It's like, do not touch it. So we're going to definitely take a look at that. Sudeep wants to see how it works. Ken Driggers is here. Matthew K says a $30 clock, really? Yeah, it's a $5 clock with $25 worth of Bluetooth on it, I think. And Crossing Pacific says this does not work as an Echo. That is correct. It is just a companion device, and I think I'm going to kind of cover that as we go through the setup process here. So let me set up the next shot that we're going to do, and I'm just going to check my stats here. Yeah, you know, it's funny because my system is dropping, not a lot, it's dropping a frame or two here and there. And I don't remember if it did that before or not, but I noticed some weirdness the other day. That was what prompted me to upgrade everything. Because my vMix setup has been working great for a while now, but it just started messing up. All right, so we're going to shoot the next part of the video where we're going to go over the hardware. And it does not feel like a very, it's something that you're not going to want to touch. Let's put it that way. And it's got a little dusty. All right. So, hey, we got some more comments on here. Chris M. loves his Amazon Echo wall clock. Has been using it ever since it was released. Used it for timers and alarms. My only negative regarding it is that it connects only to one Echo. Oh, interesting. So, and you have 5. Right, so it's linked to just one of them. Although I guess if you're networked, it's okay. Now, Chris, can you hook up more than one to a single Echo? Or is it like a one-to-one thing there? William Wilkinson is here. Hello. And this is a good point from Sudeep. You don't have to worry about changing the clocks. You know what this reminds me of, too? This reminds me of like one of those clocks I had in school. So in school, we had all of the clocks above the front door, and they were this mechanical masterpiece because there was a master time thing in the front office, and they had all of the clocks in the building synchronized. Even though they were mechanical clocks like this, they were all synchronized to the same source. So every once in a while, they would adjust the clock. And it was one of the coolest things to see the clock's hands move by itself as it was readjusting the time. And I bet you like that's what's going to happen here when we get this set up. So we'll figure it out. Joseph Sakata says, speaking of clocks, I hope everyone had an easy transition into daylight savings time. I sure as heck did not. It's getting harder for me the older I get, partly because I have children. So the kids, you know, like they don't, so they are 7 and 4. They're almost going to be 8 and 5, and they are, you know, they rely on mom and dad to tell them what time it is to do whatever, right? Like they go on their own little rhythm. So the kids are like last night it was dinner time. Kids like, no, it's not. It's not dark out. I said it's been like this for a week. It's dinner time. So yeah, it's getting tougher with the little ones. I have heard of Shadow's situation. I haven't yet dived into the whole thing there yet, but we will investigate that. Thomas Yanfang was wondering how the semiconductor shortage has affected my line of work. So far, knock on wood, we've been okay. I've got a huge backlog of stuff, so I'm doing fine. But I would imagine it's impacting my affiliate revenue. No question about that. Londog was wanting me to get, you know, it's funny, there's a lot of interest in this. I didn't realize there was so much. I might just put this on the main channel, actually, so maybe we'll do that. And Red Hornet is traveling to Indiana, so he's got me on background audio. Safe travels. All right, let me shoot the next part of the video here, and we'll keep going. 3, 2, 1. Now the price point on this is $30. The bill, oops, whoa, start again. 3, 2, 1. Now the price point on this is $30, but the build quality here doesn't quite feel like its price tag should. It's a relatively inexpensive piece of the... Let me start that again. I'm not happy with that just yet. Let me do it one more time. 3, 2, 1. Now the price point on this is about $30. It costs less... Actually, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Now the price point on this is about $30. It does not feel like a device that should cost as much as it does, but I think a lot of that cost involves the electronics inside. So it feels like a very cheap wall clock. It does have lights around here that it uses to indicate the timers. There's a notification light here, and then of course you've got Bluetooth on board. Now what this does is it links up with your Echo device over Bluetooth. So the clock has to be in Bluetooth range of the compatible Echo device that you want to link it with. You cannot summon your assistant through the clock. So this is strictly a companion device to an existing Amazon assistant. Now, one of the things they caution you on is that you shouldn't touch the hands at all. In fact, the first thing you see in the manual here is don't touch the clock. And it's hard not to because there's no plastic guard on the front of it to prevent you from touching it. So hang it up on the wall and keep it away from the pets and the kids because apparently it breaks very easily. And I was seeing that in a lot of the comments on the reviews for the product here. And again, overall, it's just not constructed all that well. Now, what I'm going to do is get this thing set up and paired with my Echo device, and we'll kind of take things from there. And I'm doing a live stream while I record this video, so I'll give you a glimpse as to how that configuration process went. So let's get to it. All right, I think I can live with that. So let's take a look at how that recording went. I'm just going to pull up my clip here and just rename it. And this might go on the main channel. It seems like there's some interest in this thing. So we'll see what people think about this when we're done with it. There's not much to show, which is fun. These are fun ones to shoot. Now the price point on this is about $30. It does not feel like a device that should cost as much as it does, but I think a lot of that cost involves the electronics inside. So it feels like a very cheap wall clock. It does have lights around here that it uses to indicate the timers. There's a notification light here, and then of course you've got Bluetooth on board. Now what this does is it links up with your Echo device over Bluetooth. So the clock has to be in Bluetooth range of the compatible Echo device that you want to link it with. You cannot summon your assistant through the clock. So this is strictly a companion device to an existing Amazon assistant. Now, one of the things they caution you on is that you shouldn't touch the hands at all. In fact, the first thing you see in the manual here is don't touch the clock. And it's hard not to because there's no plastic guard on the front of it to prevent you from touching it. So hang it up on the wall and keep it away from the pets and the kids because apparently it breaks very easily. And I was seeing that in a lot of the comments on the reviews for the product here. And again, overall, it's just not constructed all that well. Now, what I'm going to do is get this thing, and again, overall, it's just not constructed all that well. All right, so what I forgot to mention was the batteries required. So let's get, I'm going to cut this clip at all that well, and we're going to pick it up from the batteries. And I'm going to start it on camera 2, I think. So we'll say, I'm just adjusting my thing here. So we're going to call this all that well. Cut at all that well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, oops. So we're going to do, I think I'll come to this shot. Yes, we'll start it from here. And what I don't know is the battery life of the clock. And I'm guessing it's going to depend on, let me see if there's anything written on the battery life. Yeah, so everyone's just kind of guessing at the battery life. I wonder if my friend Elias Saba reviewed this thing. So overall they're saying it should last a few months, but I guess it's going to depend on how often you're using the timer component. So that's probably what the battery life is looking like here. Got a few other folks popping in here. D. Hetty is here. Hello. Q Mark says it looks interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing more form factors, Gary Dorman. Like having a a clock version of the Echo would be kind of neat. And unfortunately, the clock connects to only one Echo device. It cannot work with multiple, right? So you have to use it with one of them only. Oh, interesting, right? So Chris M., I guess the timers don't synchronize across multiple Echoes. That's interesting. Bradley Wittenbaum is joining us on the Amazon chat. Hello. Londog says, why doesn't it have a clear cover? That's a good question. Anthony Bianco says, what? No wireless power? This would be a good candidate for wireless power, wouldn't it? Because it's not consuming all that much. So Chris M, though, does love the wall clock. It isn't particularly fancy, but the timer, alarm function, and the lights and the countdown are very helpful. Londog says, yeah, you'll get some dust collected up on there. You got to be careful dusting it too because of the hands and the fragility of them. And this is one of those things, I think it depends on what you're doing with it. And you know, it's funny, I hadn't heard about this, but apparently it's been on the market for a while now. You're looking at the website, there's 8,500 reviews of it. And when I see that many reviews for something, it tells me that it's been on the market for a while. Here, I'll show you the page here that it's on. So, yeah, it's been here for a while. So you can have it, you know, kind of bug the kids. Does it make any sound? That's the other question. And it's only got a 90-day warranty on it also. So just be advised of that. All right, so we're going to go pick it up from the battery part here. 3, 2, 1. Now the clock has a battery compartment on board with, we can start that again. 3, 2, 1. Actually, I'm going to take it from this side, and then we're going to flip it over. 3, 2, 1. Now the clock is powered by 4 AA batteries. Amazon estimates you should get a few months of usage out of this, although I would imagine if you're doing a lot of timers and things that are lighting up the lights on it, that might eat into the battery a little bit more than just having it be a timepiece. But just be ready to have yet another thing that you have to replace batteries on every once in a while. And again, it takes 4 AA's, and those AA batteries are included. Now what we're going to do is get this linked up with my Echo Show here on the desk. I'm doing a live stream while I record the video today, so I'll let you kind of watch me work through that process in real time. So let's get to the pairing, and then we'll see how the clock works. Okay, so that's the conclusion of the hardware overview. So let me just add that to the mix there. So that's hardware part conclusion. Okay. And Sally says, I'm mad at my Google Hub right now. The Hub had an update while I was baking 3 loaves of sourdough. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's bad when your timer updates itself in the middle of a task like that. That's not good. Bradley Wittenbaum says $29.99 seems reasonable. Yeah, I think it's a matter of what you value the price at, right? I think the build quality for me is what turned me off a little bit from it. And by the way, the other thing we have to figure out is whether or not my wife broke it when she ran it over with the car. And I think we're okay, because like I said, there's not too much damage there. So we'll take a look at that in a second. I'm just going to go get a tissue. My allergies are starting to happen again. I love springtime, but those things that bloom, really get you. Okay. So now, I'm going to unmute this. And if we follow the directions here, we got the batteries installed. Okay, so prior to mounting, place your Echo wall clock within 30 feet, then say, blah, 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 set up my Echo wall clock, and then follow the instructions. So I think at some point we're going to have to push the button here on that. But we will get to that in a second. And give me 1 second here, my phone's ringing. see, H6. Bear with me for 1 second, folks. I keep getting these junk calls about my car warranty. It's driving me crazy. I don't need a warranty thing. Bradley Wittenbaum says, does the lights light up? Yes, we will see the lights light up. So I guess the way it works is that it'll visualize the timer with these lights here on the top. I think that's how it works. Okay. And you know what's crazy about those junk calls is that they wouldn't do them if people didn't fall for it, right? So they send out 1 million of these robocalls. You know, they're probably getting 1 or 2% response rates on it, right? But I wouldn't buy a warranty from some robocall, you know? It drives me crazy, especially when I'm working, right? I'm working here. All right. Wow, I missed a bunch of comments here. See, this is what I mean. Like this stuff gets a lot of attention. Like I'm getting a lot of engagement in the chat. Got a lot of folks watching on Amazon. So, see, and then disappointed. I wish I could even talk to them. It's just like it's a robocall. It's not even a person. So Carol says, what's the point of this thing? You know, this is one of those devices that if you have a need for it, it'll be obvious. And I'm not saying that to be critical of your comment. But it's one of those things where it's like, I would love to have a wall clock that could do X, Y, and Z for me, right? And in the product page here, I'll show you what so they're showing the use cases for. And this is the kind of stuff we'll test it against. Let me pull this up. So for example, why do you want this? Well, you got the timer function. So it'll manage multiple timers. So you can have an 8-minute, a 12-minute. So like, and it'll visualize it. So your first timer is this one. The 12-minute is that one. You see how it put that thing there? And then it's got a 40-minute one, which goes all the way around the clock. You could have it tell the kids it's time to put the video games down, right? I guess. So that's kind of what you do with it. And then it's a wall clock. All right, so that's what it's there for. Lawn Dog says, take some Benadryl, then I'll fall asleep. You don't want that. Yes, there is a Mickey Mouse one, Dutch Shell. That's correct. It costs a lot more. There's a Disney tax involved with it, so I got the cheaper one. But I should probably mention the Disney version of it. And yeah, I have the same problem, Metal Beer. It comes from like a number nearby, so you're more compelled to do that. And you know, the crazy thing is that I had put my phone on. So my iPhone has a setting where you can have it only ring when it's somebody in your address book. But I occasionally go on this radio station in state here, and they always call me from an unlisted number, so I can never turn it on all the time because they can't get to me to do the interview. Bradley asks, does it have a speaker for conversations? No, it is strictly a one-way kind of device. Okay. So let me get going here. Gaddafi wants to know, does it change back? Yeah, I think it syncs up with the Echo that it's connected to, and it kind of works that way. All right, so let's get this thing set up. So the first thing we have to do is say, set up my Echo wall clock. So let's start recording. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're going to set this thing up, and we're going to talk to my Echo Show here. Now, I have changed the default wake word on my Echo Show to computer. See, that's the problem. If I say computer, it's going to... So I'll mute this initially. That's what I'll do. Actually, is there a way I can just push the button and not have to? No, there's no way it does that. There's the other one, you can push the button and it will just activate, but this one you have to say the word. Okay. So I'm going to mute it first. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're going to set up the clock now. And again, this clock connects over Bluetooth to a 3, 2, 1. So we're going to set up the clock now, and this clock connects over Bluetooth to your Echo device. You can't make calls or anything on it, and it has to be within range of it, about 30 feet. Now, my Echo here is set to a different wake word, so you shouldn't have to mute your video here. My wake word is computer, so I'm just going to turn the mute off here, and we're going to say, computer, Computer, set up my Echo wall clock.
Okay. Press and hold the pairing button on the back of your Echo wall clock for up to 10 seconds until the light on the clock's face pulses orange.
All right.
Pairing may take up to a minute, and
There
the
we go.
light will turn blue once paired. You can also pair or unpair your clock in the Alexa app under the Bluetooth settings of your Echo device.
All right, so we've got the pulsating orange here, and it looks like it's searching. It doesn't look like it's pulsating to you on camera, but I can definitely see it pulsating here. And this might take up to 40 seconds, so we'll fast forward the video here just to make sure you don't wait through the whole thing here. Okay.
Your Echo wall clock is paired. The light will pulse blue for a few minutes as your clock is set to the same time as your Echo device. The hands will start and stop several times during this process. Once the time is set, try setting a timer or ask, "What can Echo wall clock do?"
All right, so we're going to let this thing process, and the time locally where I am is 3:45 p.m. So let's see if these hands will set themselves. It's not looking good here. Although there could be a firmware update going down to the clock. So we're going to let this thing sit here for a minute as it does its thing, because I would imagine that blue light means it's probably doing something. All right, so now it is rebooting. Or my wife destroyed it when she ran over the car, ran over the box of the car. All right, I'm just going to let the thing keep recording here and see what happens. All right. Yeah, it's taken a while, isn't it? I have a feeling there was probably some microcode firmware update that it transferred over. Because part of why I was so excited to try this out live is that I want to see the hands move by themselves, but and the hands did move briefly and then they stopped. So I wonder if the clock is just broken. Let me see what. So if it's pulsing blue, okay, so pulsing blue means that the time is syncing or the software is updating. So that's what's going on here. So we'll let this thing finish its update. I can't even imagine what goes into a software update for a device this simple. But we'll let it keep rolling here. And Michael McCune followed us on Amazon. Thank you very much for the follow. And like I said, I'm just waiting for that thing to stop pulsing so that we can get that, watch those hands move there. So I just want to let it roll while it's doing that. Anthony Biacco, yeah, that was the inspiration by changing that to the C word, because I love that movie. And that scene in particular is great when he picks the mouse up and starts talking into it. It was funny, it was really funny back then when you couldn't talk to computers, but now that's all we do, right? So that's that. Carol says the pulsating light is hypnotizing. Yeah, I'm about to, I'm ready for the Echo to start making suggestions to me. Londog says there is absolutely no razzle dazzle. I've got to have this beautiful clock. It's designed beyond Monday and plain looking. I understand it's just a clock, but it's still plain. Yeah, it is. It's super plain. And there's something about, I'm with you. I like minimalistic design sometimes, and this is super minimalistic, for sure. I just don't know why it takes so long to get the thing to update. I wonder what it's doing. But it's definitely pulsing blue means time syncing or software updating. So there's something going on behind the scenes here. What I might do is maybe we'll try a timer just to see what happens. Computer, 5-second timer.
5 seconds, starting now. By the way, you have one new notification. You can find it on the home screen.
Now that sound is coming from the Echo and not from the clock. So the clock is making no noises here. So I wonder if that means that I have a notification. Now, so yellow means you have a notification. So I don't know what this blue pulsing means. Or is it that the hands are stuck? And now I'm nervous about touching it because I don't know if I have stuck hands or not. Bradley Wittenbaum says, will it survive hanging in a garage? I think it would. I mean, where you're going to run into trouble is if you have stuff that floats around in the garage. I think the weak point here are the hands on the clock. And I know I'm not supposed to do this. Oh, yeah, something's not right with the hands here. So I could hear its little motor trying to move the hands. I think the hands are broken. And it could be that's what happened when my wife hit it with the car. I don't know. But it was protected in the box, so I'm not sure. It doesn't look bad. It looks like it's working just fine, but it's like definitely trying to move this. So the weasel says it will go away in a minute, so maybe we'll just let it sit here for a second and see what happens. But yeah, Bradley, there is no plastic cover on this. And Brian says the clock isn't thinking, it's plotting. That's what it is. Your AI is plotting against you. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to turn the recording off and just kind of let it sit here for a minute. And maybe it's still doing something. I wish there was like a way to know exactly whether or not I have a mechanical problem or if. And like I said, it says don't touch the hands, so I'm not going to do that. But there is a troubleshooting. Because the one thing it didn't really tell me is like how long should I expect this to sit for, right? So let's go to Amazon.com/help. I'll do it on the other window here. Amazon.com/help. Because I would imagine if we had a problem, there would be a different light. Okay. So getting started, troubleshooting. Oh, there it goes. Here it goes. Well, something happened. I think it's rebooting again. Now, Disappointed says they have one. They don't remember it taking this long. Yeah, the time definitely didn't get set, did it? And I think it thinks that it's in position now. Let's try another thing here. Computer, 10-second timer.
10 seconds, starting now.
If worse comes to worse, I'll send this one back and get another one. Yeah, so that seemed to work. All right. So Bradley says that the question's about the compatible Echo device. Yeah, they've got a list of what's compatible on the website. So I would take a look there. It's on the product page. It's compatible with just about all of them. I think maybe like the first generation ones. I'm guessing it's like whatever one you have that, as long as it has a Bluetooth connection on it, you should be fine. I have a feeling these hands broke on this thing. So that could be why it's not working. Let's see. So it looks like its default state, I would imagine the default state would be to have the light off. Because I can see the hands trying to move, and then they don't. Let's see what happens after it goes through this boot cycle. It does look cool, though. And this is like par for the course of my live streams. There's always something that doesn't work. F and Davies said if somebody, yes, they did. I didn't touch it. So I haven't touched this really except that one time. But I definitely have not moved the hands. But I guess somebody said that if you Oh, I see. So you have to, if you do move it to the spot that it thinks it's in, yeah, we're going to have to wait a minute here. Let's see what happens when it comes back up. I did not touch it at all when we first set it up. So we'll see what happens here. It does take a while for it to boot up. Because the minute hand moved a little bit. It's definitely not an hour earlier because right now it's almost 4 o'clock. It's 3:54 here. Okay, you got that done. Perfect. We may have a dud here. And it may not be Amazon's fault either because remember my wife said she ran over the... To some degree or another, the package was hit with the car on the way into the garage. I don't know if she ran over it or if she pushed it. I think it was more like push and not fully drive over because the package did not appear... It didn't look like a minivan actually rolled over it. But let's wait for it to finish its synchronization here. And Jeremy is just about to install a new WiseCam version 3. Excellent. Yeah, I like those quite a bit. And while we wait, we could take a look. Watch this one. Hey, watch this. I have one of the outdoor cameras, so we could say, computer, show me the garage camera.
Okay.
And it's going to connect to my garage camera outside. So we'll wait for it to finish doing that. It does take a little bit of time to connect the Wise stuff up. That's one thing I have found. But once it gets going, you're in good shape. And the outdoor cam, this is the outdoor camera, the one with the battery. It's got a really good image. I think it's better. I think the outdoor camera's images are better than what you get on the regular WiseCam. So I'm getting impatient. I know I'm not supposed to touch the hands, but I wonder if I should touch the hands. See, it's like struggling. So I wonder if mine got damaged in shipment or something, because it feels like... I'm going to take this off of that, so... Okay, I just felt it click. So what time is it? It is 3:56, so that's not where it wants to be. Yeah, it's totally stuck. It's struggling to move, and I think I may just have to get another one. Because you can see it's really struggling here. So I think this one just arrived broken. Oh, it's doing something now. Hang on. I guess the question would be, what would happen if we let it sit here? Because now it actually moved itself into position a little better there. But I'm not sure if we are... Yeah, this thing is just really fragile. So you know what I'm going to try here? I'm going to pull the batteries out one more time. And let's see if we can get... Yeah, somebody says it'll be right at least twice a day. That is true. All right, so let's reconnect it here. So I think what's happening here is it's not getting into position. It moved, but then it got stuck again. Old PC guy says, does it come with a warranty? It does, but it's only a 90-day warranty on this one. So you got to be You gotta be quick to return it if you have a problem with it. Yeah, it looks like it's really struggling to get those hands around. Yeah, I think it's, oh wait, there it goes. Now it's doing something. Here we go. I think we're moving in a good direction here. Let's see. We might be able to do the video after all. Oh, it got stuck again. It's definitely not the time that it should be going to 4 o'clock. And it got stuck. So it was moving. Let's see. I'm trying to be very gentle with it because I know it's going to work at some point. It's like when it gets to this point here, it gets kind of stuck. Yeah, I think we're going to have to send this back. Somebody said at the beginning that if you get it into the right spot, when it's stuck, it'll start moving again. But it looks like there's something mechanical. Oh, that's a good point also. Weak batteries might cause issues moving the motor and the rest of the mechanism. That's a good question. So let me, because there was some talk on one of the reviews about the batteries, right? So why don't we try some fresh batteries and see if that makes a difference here. So let me try that real quick. So let me go get some more batteries. I think I've got a bunch of rechargeables in there, so we'll try those out real quick. Is that right? It's right, because they may be hitting some resistance in the battery, you know, because that's going to require more power than just moving the hand slowly, right? But I think now you all can see that everything that I do on this channel, even for a simple, I said, this will be a quick one. No, never. Things never go quickly here. We move at the speed of the subjects, which in this case, that doesn't feel very good either. All right, so here we go again. All right, these are freshly charged batteries. Whoa, that didn't look good either. Yeah, I think this is a damaged unit. It is moving faster than it did before, so the batteries could have been an issue here. Yeah, I'm gonna send this back and get another one. All right, so now it's moving again. See if we can get into position. The batteries definitely made a difference here, though. It's moving a lot better than it did a minute ago. So right now it's 4:02, but it's really struggling to get this thing, get the time set. Yeah, I shouldn't be touching this, but I'm touching it because it's stuck. There it goes again. All right, we'll try a fresh set of alkalines in a minute also. These are 1.5 volts, you're right. Okay, all right, so you know what we'll do? We will try, no, it's still going. I will go grab a set of fresh alkalines. So I don't think I have any down here. Whatever was stuck feels less stuck now. How does that sound? And it is doing what I expected it to do. It kind of reminds me of those clocks in school when I was a kid. But it feels like whatever was stuck is less stuck now, because now it's going all the way around. It almost got all the way around. It should be at 4:03, so it's got a little bit longer to go here. right, so let me go find another set of batteries. I had some down here, but I think I brought them back upstairs. So let me go grab those real quick. Then we'll... I hate it when we can't finish something, especially after I started it. So let me go check and see if I can find some batteries. All right, so now I've got a set of fresh AA alkalines. Some Amazon basics here. Okay. So Jeremy's asking about the version 3 cam. Will it survive outside? This is the Wise cam he's talking about. Will it survive outside without a protective case? Yes. So the version 3 camera is weatherproof, so it should survive without any additional case there. So you could definitely use it out there like that. All right, so let's get these batteries out of here. All right, so now we've got fresh alkalines here, 1.5 volts each. No more under voltage. And let's see what happens with these. Okay. Oh, it's stuck again. Old Scruffy one started following. Hello. Yeah, this one doesn't seem to be. And now that motor feels pretty tight there. All right, so it's moving again. So I'm just trying to get it moving, so it can get into the right position. But it looks like the batteries that it came with were really weak. So that did have an impact. And now what it's got to do is it's got to get that handover. So that could have been our problem all along here, the batteries, right? So let's see. Now it's cooking. It's very quiet. You don't hear it. Now, can it get around to 4? Oh, yeah, it's still going. It's still going. Okay, so 407 is where it's going to land. I guess it's not quite to 4 yet, right? So let's see what happens here. So, okay, right, we were still in 3. Okay, so now it's going to get to 4. Let's see. 407. It should stop right here. Nope. It's still going. And another question from Jeremy about the Wise cam. Can the V3 be used as a webcam? It cannot. The V2 with the firmware can, but it can't do anything else when you load that firmware on. Yeah, I'm gonna send this back and get another one. Somebody suggested we give it a good old shake here. Yeah, hand just like flopping around. So yeah, I think we had a little damage here on shipment, or the wife's collision. Yeah. Well, we definitely had some battery issues, that's for sure, right? So that was one problem. Brian Parker says, how does it know the time? So what it does is it syncs up with your Echo Show. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like we're going to need to get another one of these. I'm giving up on this for now. So much for that. The good news is that we'll have another one here in due course. And when that one gets here, we will give this another try. But I think I'm going to give up on it for now. It looks cool. I like the minimalistic design. It's just the build quality is not there. And I think that's what we experienced. Okay. Yeah, and I think that's it, Joseph. It's going to get stuck. So I think we're going to just stop there. But we're not done yet because I am going to try to get at least one thing shot today. And this will be one for the extras channel. Okay, oh, so Ricardo has a tip. Same happened to me. Remove the batteries, insert them back, ask Alexa to set up the Echo wall clock, and press the button. All right, so you want to try that? Let's do that. I'm not giving up yet. We got a suggestion here from Ricardo who says try to set it up all over again. So let's try that. And what I'll do here is I think I can go in and adjust the settings, the Bluetooth settings. It wants me to make an artichoke dip, but let me go pull down the menu here, and we're just gonna kill the Bluetooth pairing, and we're gonna start over again. So let's forget this, because now we got good batteries, right? Okay, so we forgot that. All right, so we'll give it another college try here. So it's off. We're gonna put in. Londog says, I can explain to you, but there is a key on the hands for the clock to know what its position is, and it's lost it. Aha. So that's it. Yeah. So Londog says what has happened is the set point on the pins to the clock hands is damaged. It's almost stopped at the 5 o'clock on the right, so it doesn't know how to set its reference point anymore. Yeah, that's probably exactly what's going on there. Well, let's try this anyhow. Let's just see what happens. Maybe it'll click back into position here. So we're going to put these batteries back in. And we'll give this one more try, because we had weak batteries at the outset, and I think that had an impact. And the battery's not sticking in all the way either. Okay, all right, so let's try this one more time. All right, so we got the batteries in. And I'm going to hit the button here just to kind of reset everything. Computer, set up my Echo wall clock.
Okay. Press and hold the pairing button on the back of your Echo wall clock for up to 10 seconds.
Okay, there we go.
Until the light on the clock's face pulses orange. Pairing may take up to a minute, and the light will turn blue once
You're right.
paired.
That hand is totally.
You can also pair or unpair your clock in the Alexa app under the Bluetooth setting.
Okay.
Your Echo wall clock is paired. The light will pulse blue for a few minutes as your clock is set to the same time as your
doing
Echo
that
device.
thing with the hands again.
The hands will start and stop several times during this process. Once the time is set, try setting a timer or ask, what can Echo wall clock do?
Right now it doesn't do much. And Londog says, hey, look at a team of people in our knowledge group together to get a clock working. I know. It's very funny. Yeah, it just lost its positioning. So that's the problem. I don't know how to get it, without taking it apart, how to get its positioning back on track. So that's why they tell you not to move it, because it knocks it out of position, right? So I wonder if, yeah, see, it feels like it's got some tension here. So when you move these hands, it knocks it out of position again, and that's it. It is 5 o'clock somewhere, but not here. You know, let me try the computer. Can you make me some transparent aluminum? This is from.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Hear that? It doesn't know how to make transparent aluminum. All right, so it's trying to move the hands again. Let's see. Yeah, it could be it just got damaged somewhere along the way between where it was and here. Well, I'm going to give up on this one, folks. I think I need to get another one. So that is going to do it for the clock. But I got one more thing to try out here today, which I know will work better because it is a very simple thing. This is a Moft They call this the Moft. I have to go to the mailbox tomorrow anyhow, so we're going to get a bunch of this stuff done. So this thing is a little stand for your phone, for your iPhone. And so it works with the, and you can't feel this because it's, obviously we're on a, you can't transmit that feeling, but it uses the MagSafe connector, and you can see it just kind of, see that? It just kind of goes into position, and then I can turn it, and it can, it's like a little stand. So you can do something like that. The problem with it, though, is that, first of all, it costs a lot of money. I think I put it on here, didn't I? Guess I didn't. Let me add it to my list here. This is it here, the Snap-on MagSafe compatible. So the problem with it is that it's expensive, and then it works as a wallet also, like you can use it as a wallet. The problem, though, as a wallet, is that it just slips off. So if you were to put this in your pocket, it just slides off really easily. So that's kind of how that works. Now, Chris Allegretta is asking, did they change the meaning of MagSafe? They kind of did, because it means wireless charging now. So you'll find a lot of these MagSafe compatible devices on Amazon and other places. And then what this does is it links up with that connector inside the phone. And this doesn't charge the phone or anything. It's just an accessory item. And then what's neat about it is that there's positional magnets. So as you can see, when it just kind of clicks in. But it's not on very, very securely, so it slides right off. So if you were to put this in your pocket, it would slide right off. So William says you could probably add a wireless charger behind the stand. I don't think so, because it covers up the whole area that would charge. What I could try here, let's see if it'll. I have a wireless charger on my desk here, but it won't charge through it. Yeah, so you got to take it off to wirelessly charge. So it's easy to take off. But you know what I got? Let me show you these other ones that I got. Here, let me go get it real quick, because I have these other stands that I got ahead of my trip to Germany last year. I think I've got one in here. Let me look and see if I can find it. These things were super inexpensive. Yeah, these things. Because when I'm on a plane, I usually just watch movies and stuff on my phone. So I got these things. I'm not sure if they're still being sold or not. These little folding stents. I can't remember what brand they are. It's like not even a brand on it. Let me see if I can find these on Amazon real quick. That's a bummer the clock didn't work. I'm just trying to find the ones that I got. I know I bought them on Amazon a while ago. Let's see. Just looking through my... I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. Here they are. So these things... Here, I'll put this in the chat. So these are, for 3 of them, this is a good deal. These things are $7 for 3 of them. So if you're on Amazon right now, I will send a link. I'll put a link up for these little guys. These are the folding stents. So let me find that product real quick. I'm just going to add the product to the carousel. And let me take it out of the box, because what I'll do in the video that I'm going to record is show how these work. So this is like $30, right? This is $7 for 3 of them. So do the math. And this will work with any phone. So what these do, and this was like my little buddy on my trip to Germany, because it just goes like that, and then put your phone in like that, or like that. Now, granted, it's not as attractive as the MagSafe connector, but if you're on a plane and you just want to have your phone, you know, kind of in a little stand, then you can adjust it. So you can go down like that. You know, that little piece there slots in to the top there. And so these are like, again, $7 for the black color, this color. There's a couple different colors that cost more. I think they have like one with assorted colors. So they have one pack where it's like pink, black, white, and pink, or you can just get 3 black ones. You choose. But these were a great little traveling companion. And then there's like a little, it's like a little padded area down here, so it keeps the phone from slipping and sliding a little too much. And then when you're done, it just folds up. So it stores pretty securely in your bag. The only liability is that you do have a little bit of an edge on it that could get caught. But for the price, I mean, they're practically disposable. But every one that I have is still fine. I had one, like I said, I've been on a couple of trips now with these, and they've been perfectly fine. So this is nice because it's the MagSafe connector. It's a little more secure. You know, the phone kind of locks in, and you're good. But for a third of the price, you can get 3 of these, and the whole family has a stand. So you got that as an option. All right, so let me, this is going to be a real quick one for the extras channel. This one's not going to be, so Frank Cromer said, I just bought a pack. Yeah, I mean, you can't get simpler than this. And if it breaks, who cares? It's like, what do these cost? You know, it's like $2 and change a piece. So that's what I would go with. But if you wanted something a little fancier, you got this thing. Now I got to see if this is made out of. Now, in fairness to this one, what they give you is a magnet here that you can stick to stuff. So, for example, when you have this connected to the back of your phone, so you get it positioned, and I would get it positioned correctly first. It'll actually hold the phone up. So you could stick that to the wall and then stick the whole thing, and it'll hold it in place. But you got to get the magnet in the right position. That's kind of the key to this whole thing. But it is sliding around a little bit. I should probably stick this to something and see if we can. This is turning out to be a disaster of a stream today. Here, I'll attach it to this box. So we'll put it like right here. Oops. All right, so I'm going to stick this on this box because I don't want to stick it to the wall. Oh no, it's stuck to my desk. Great. Okay, let's try this again. This is that sticky stuff that doesn't unstick. So if I, so it's not, it doesn't slide. Like once it's on, it's on. So you can feel it kind of click in. But it's not ideal. Like I don't know if I would leave this on my, let's see if it'll slide off over time here. I think it's pretty good. But really though, $30 or $7 for 3 of these, unless that the sticking to your wall thing is important. So that might work. Okay. So there you go. Yes, if you want to pick these up, click on the Amazon link, and if you go into the chat, you will see them selected right now. These are called cell phone stands. Let me see, give you the exact name. Cell phone stand for desk, 3-pack black mobile stand, portable, foldable desktop cell phone holder. Here, I'll give you the thing here. And if, you know, this just because of, now they do say it works with the iPad mini. I guess it probably would. I wouldn't put your big iPad in this because it's pretty, but I travel with this thing. It's great. And $7 for 3 of them. Oops, it's that price because it costs more to ship it if you're just shipping one. So you may as well send 3 of them. So there you go. All right. So, yeah, so I don't know if it was a result of the packaging that got damaged on that clock. It probably is. So we'll get another clock in and we'll try again. That's what's great about Amazon is that when you have a problem, they give you a new one. So we're going to give it another try. But the batteries were definitely weaker on the one that it came with there. All right, so now we're going to do something with this. Let me move this out of the way here. Ooh, look what's, oh, it was recommending that I make some slow cooker pulled pork. Yeah, I was excited about this thing. I thought it would be a little better than it is. It doesn't really, and I think it's just the nature of MagSafe. It's just not, because you don't want something that is too strong, because if you were using one of those chargers, it would crack the glass on the back. So the connection is not strong, but it's strong enough to hold the phone in place here, as you can see. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, so let's give this a shot. Yeah, what a wasted day today was. All right, there we go. Okay. So let me do a quick one here, and then we'll close it out because the kids are almost home. All right. So let me try this out here, and we'll see where we end up. And I've got a little thing. So by the way, the other thing this thing does is that so it's got a little pocket in here that you can store a credit card in. But I'm nervous about recommending this as a credit card holder because you're dealing with magnets. So is that a good idea to put your credit card in there? So you could probably hold about, 1 or 2 cards in there. That's probably about it. So, and Handheld Obsession says there's no wasted days here. There are about 100 of us enjoying it. Good. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it. I think it's fine. Yeah, and like I'm actually, the reason why I'm streaming today is that I'm ahead of the game today. So I've got one laptop that I'm ready to record. So that's good to go. I've got the review of the ATEM Mini Extreme, which Jake just finished up editing. So that one's going to be posted tomorrow night. So I'm in good shape from a content perspective, but it's just I hate when things don't work. Because that would have been, I was surprised by how much interest there was in that clock. So that was good. All right, so we're going to do a quick, and good, everyone's enjoying that pack. Yeah, you can't beat those little stents. I think these things are a great deal. I mean, really, buy like 3 or 4 of them, and you're good to go. All right, George purchased the FitFort phone stand this month. Here, I'll pull his thing up. He's got a recommendation. Works with my Android phone and iPads, adjustable and will tilt. Assembles in a minute, heavy round base. Let me look at that one real quick. This is a FitFort, let's see, FitFort phone stand. Oh, it looks pretty solid. It's a limited time deal also. So this is the one that George said he just got. That's a neat little base there. That's pretty cool. And you can have your iPad just kind of stand up there like that. Cool. All right. So let me, so that's how that works. So let's do a quick little video here of this one. And then I'm going to call it a day because I got to start cooking dinner in a few minutes. No end in sight. And in case anyone's wondering, we have not been doing tacos on Tuesday lately. So tonight is, we're doing some, I think I'm going to get the grill fired up today. That's what my objective is for today. All right. So let me cut back to here. This is called the Moft. Let me get the right name for this thing. This is the Moft Snap-on MagSafe thing there. Mark has, in the Amazon chat, his clock is fine. It's cool. Yeah, so I think I just got a bad one. So we'll get that. We'll get it replaced. We'll come back and do another. The good news is we get another stream out of it, so I can finish up the video. And I'll make note of my sweater that I'm wearing here. So we'll go from there. And it looks like my friend Brian. What did Brian do now? Oh my goodness, Brian. My friend Brian. I love you, Brian. You're too generous to me. Thank you very much. You now have 2 gold 2 gold level contributions. You'll be on the next 2 cycles. So thank you very much for that. And Brian says that even my fails are great. Well, that is very nice of you to say. And Chris says, just 1 cent under gold. That's true. Although with Brian actually is already a member, so technically in the aggregate, he has exceeded, and he did another one 2 weeks ago. So now he's well ahead. So you and Chris got 2 gold level folks in here today. And Mark Dell is getting pretty close too. All right. And Mark Dell, I got to do I still have to do that, that thing we were talking about with the 3DO. So we'll get to that. And Handheld says, loves Solar Striker. Yeah, that's my original Solar Striker back there. And I think that was like the 2nd or 3rd Game Boy game. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that one, I'm trying to remember where that one came, how that one came to me. I think my father might have gotten that for me overseas, although it looks like it's an American label on it, so I'm not sure. But yeah, he definitely has good eyes for spotting that. You know what's funny about these games is that when you're so familiar with something, even if you see a tiny little piece of it, it will come together like that. All right, so, and that's always, by the way, always the danger with live streaming is that things may not work when you take them out of the box. So there you go. All right, so we're going to do now this thing, the Moft. And I'm going to also bring up these little stands that I talked about, because if you want something a little less expensive, that's the way to go. So we'll call this 2 options for, so this is the Moft MagSafe wallet. I'm just going to pull it up on my screen here. And they call it MagSafe compatible, but I don't think it's leather. Let's double check the product page here. See, it says it's leather, but they call it, okay, they call it vegan leather, which means it's not leather. I kid you not, it actually says vegan leather on there. Vegan leather, which means that it's not leather, it's plastic. Yeah, vegan leather, feels soft, looks nice. Simple, elegant, vegan leather. That's a new one. That's a new one for me. I'm going to call my dad about that. Yeah, as Chris says, pleather. That is funny. Okay. All right. And I'm not trashing this. This is actually not a bad product, okay? It's just expensive and a little over-marketed. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So we're going to pick it up from the top here. I'm just going to make a new folder for this. This is going to be a real quick one. MagSafe wallet. And this is going on the extras channel. There's no way this one would be a main channel thing. But these also appear on Amazon, so this will go with the listing of the product there. And we'll get 2 for 1 here, because if you don't have MagSafe or you want something a little simpler, go with these folding stents. All right, and I got to just make sure. So on Amazon, the videos cannot mention price. Brian said if they increase the price to $200, they can call it a polymer. That's right. Then it's really fancy. Okay, so let's get organized here. Getting my thoughts organized. And then we'll stick around for a little bit longer, because I got less to send to Jake right now. Okay, here we go. This is the Moft Snap-on MagSafe compatible stand and wallet. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV. We're taking a look today at the Moft MagSafe 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at a phone stand and wallet for the iPhone 12 series with the MagSafe connectors. This is the Moft Snap-on MagSafe compatible stand and wallet. And what it does is if you have a MagSafe phone, it will kind of snap on with your MagSafe magnet here, and the phone will stand up like so, or you can move it around into a bit of a landscape mode here. Kind of fun if you're on a plane or something like that. There's not much more to see on this one, but there are a couple of things I want to cover in just a second. But I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this came in free of, and I'm going to start this again because I think I need to just do the disclosure up front, and then we'll get to the rest of it. So let's start that again. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at a couple of phone stands that you can use while you're traveling, because hopefully we will all be traveling again soon. I've got a fancy one here for the iPhone 12 that we're going to take a look at from Moft, and I've got another less expensive option that will work with just about any phone that we're going to look at in this review. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that Moft sent me their MagSafe wallet here free of charge. However, this stand we're going to be looking at is one that I bought with my own funds. All of the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see how these stands work. Done. Okay, so that's going to be our intro. And then I got to run in a minute because the children and the wife are home, and I will no doubt be needed. All right, there we go. So let's just play that real quick, and then we'll come back. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at a couple of phone stands that you can use while you're traveling, because hopefully we will all be traveling again soon. I've got a fancy one here for the iPhone 12 that we're going to take a look at from Moft, and I've got another less expensive option that will work with just about any phone that we're going to look at in this review. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that Moft sent me their MagSafe wallet here free of charge. However, this stand we're going to be looking at is one that I bought with my own funds. All of the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor has anyone reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see how these stands work. All right, that's good. I can start with that. All right, so now we're going to get into how this thing works. But yeah, to the question in the chat, Mark says, yeah, so one of the terms of the Amazon affiliate program is you cannot put the price in your content. The reason is that the prices change. And so you can put in the dynamic price stuff from Amazon, but you can't mention the price. So yeah, that came out good, I think. So we'll continue onward here. All right. Now, I can mention it on my YouTube channel, so I usually cut it out for the Amazon version. 3, 2, 1. Now, there is a wide price disparity between these two stands. The Moft one here is about $30. This one, you get 3 for about $7. So like your iPhone, this is definitely a premium device with a premium price tag. But it actually works quite nicely with the iPhone 12 here. So as you can see, it just kind of snaps into position. And what's cool about MagSafe is that it gets your accessories kind of locked in, so it's in there and ready to go. Now, they market this as a wallet, and it does have room up here for maybe a credit card or a small amount of cash, but it's hard to get your stuff in there, but it will hold on to something pretty securely. What I don't like about it is that the MagSafe connection isn't all that strong, so if you wanted to put the phone in your pocket, it's going to slide off pretty easily. Oddly, though, it's strong enough to actually hold on to the phone pretty decently, so it's going to be fine when it's in position, but when it is getting slid around a little bit, it's going to slide off super easy here. Now, this portion on the back will turn into a stand, so you can have the phone stand up this way, and then you can also have this phone go into a landscape orientation too, and like I said, it's pretty strong at holding on to the phone. Now, the other thing they give you with the Moft here is a sticker with a magnet on it. And so you can attach this to a wall or a shelf or something, and then you can attach your phone to that and hold the whole package up here on a wall. I did test it a little bit earlier on a box, and it seemed like it held up pretty decently. So you could maybe put this on your bathroom mirror or something and watch your favorite podcast in the morning if you wanted to do that. It is one of those really sticky 3M things, so I think once this goes on, it is not going off again, but you do have a little bit more flexibility with this for other things. But I think the price tag on this just is a bit on the pricey side for me. They say it is made of leather, and then they go on to say that it's made of vegan leather, which means that this is made out of plastic. So although it feels like leather, it does have some stitching on it. It is actually just a synthetic leather, so you're not getting anything that's super high quality here. Now, these little guys and gals are something that I am quite fond of. I bought these before I had a big trip to Europe last year. One of the last trips I took before everything got locked down. And you get a 3-pack of these for very little money. And what's nice about this is that it works with any phone. So you can put your phone down on it like so. and there's my Visa card. And you can very easily adjust the back of it here to find the position that works best. And I like to watch a lot of movies and stuff on my phone while I'm on a plane, and I don't want to hold the phone on the tray. And this thing will get your phone into position pretty nicely. There's a little padding on the bottom here, although I found that the iPhone, which is a very slippery device, tends to slip around a little bit. But if you have a case on, I think it might grip onto it a little bit better. But you can't beat the price on these, and they are surprisingly durable. It is, a pretty cheap piece of plastic here, but I've been traveling with one of these for quite a while now, and I expected, given that they sell these in packs of 3, that I would be replacing them frequently. But the one that I started with is still in my bag and survived a couple of trips after that Europe trip there. So pretty easy and quick to get going, and something I would recommend if you want something really inexpensive but functional. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. So I think I covered the basics there, right? Let's take a look at that and see how that came together. And like I said, that's an extras channel video, and also one that will appear on the... And so what's nice about this for Amazon is that I can link it up with 2 different product categories, or 2 different product listings also. So let's take a look and see how that came out. 3, 2, 1. Now there is a wide price disparity between these 2 stands. The Moft one here is about $30. This one you get 3 for about $7. So like your iPhone, this is definitely a premium device with a premium price tag, but it actually works quite nicely with the iPhone 12 here. So as you can see, it just kind of snaps into position. And what's cool about MagSafe is that it gets your accessories kind of locked in, so it's in there and ready to go. Now they market this as a wallet, and it does have room up here for maybe a credit card or a small amount of cash, but it's hard to get your stuff in there, but it will hold on to something pretty securely. What I don't like about it is that the MagSafe connection isn't all that strong, so if you wanted to put the phone in your pocket, it's going to slide off pretty easily. Oddly, though, it's strong enough to actually hold on to the phone pretty decently, so it's going to be fine when it's in position, but when it is getting slid around a little bit, it's going to slide off super easy here. Now, this portion on the back will turn into a stand, so you can have the phone stand up this way, and then you can also have this phone go into a landscape orientation too, and like I said, it's pretty strong at holding on to the phone. Now, the other thing they give you with the Moft here is a sticker with a magnet on it. And so you could attach this to a wall or a shelf or something, and then you can attach your phone to that and hold the whole package up here on a wall. I did test it a little bit earlier on a box, and it seemed like it held up pretty decently. So you could maybe put this on your bathroom mirror or something and watch your favorite podcast in the morning if you wanted to do that. It is one of those really sticky 3M things, so I think once this goes on, it is not going off again, but you do have a little bit more flexibility with this for other things. But I think the price tag on this just is a bit on the pricey side for me. They say it is made of leather, and then they go on to say that it's made of vegan leather, which means that this is made out of plastic. So although it feels like leather, it does have some stitching on it, it is actually just a synthetic leather, so you're not getting anything that's super high quality here. Now, these little guys and gals are something that I am quite fond of. I bought these before I had a big trip to Europe last year. One of the last trips I took before everything got locked down. And you get a 3-pack of these for very little money. And what's nice about this is that it works with any phone. So you can put your phone down on it like so. And there's my Visa card. And you can very easily adjust the back of it here to find the position that works best. And I like to watch a lot of movies and stuff on my phone while I'm on a plane, and I don't want to hold the phone on the tray. And this thing will get your phone into position pretty nicely. There's a little padding on the bottom here, although I found that the iPhone, which is a very slippery device, tends to slip around a little bit. But if you have a case on, I think it might grip onto it a little bit better. But you can't beat the price on these, and they are surprisingly durable. It is, a pretty cheap piece of plastic here, but I've been traveling with one of these for quite a while now, and I expected, given that they sell these in packs of 3, that I would be replacing them frequently, but the one that I started with is still in my bag and survived a couple of trips after that Europe trip there. So pretty easy and quick to get going, and something I would recommend if you want something really inexpensive but functional. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right. 3, 2, 1. Now there is a wide price. So that worked out okay. So we got a video. Boom. So now what I want to do is just take a still shot here for a thumbnail. And I think what I should do is probably put another phone in the other position, right? So let me go find another phone. See, the fun thing about being in my house is that there's always another phone somewhere. I'll just grab the closest one. Apparently I've got an iPhone 6S here. It just happens to be hanging around. So this phone isn't slipping around as much because it's a little like you don't have that flat stainless steel. So that one fits pretty nicely on there. All right, so let's just take a picture of it. But those little stands, I'm telling you, like this is the best deal ever for a stand. And you know, and it used to be when I would go on a plane, I would just hold the phone in my hand the whole time. Now what my friend Brian does, see, there's a pro and a con to what I'm going to put up here. Brian has his daughter hold the phone for him, fancy and very inexpensive. But oh, sorry, fancy and very, very, yeah, very expensive. And you got to keep the phone stand occupied for the whole flight. So that's a whole nother factor you got to consider. So I'm just going to take a quick still image here. I'm going to throw that on my desktop. And boom. Okay, so we're done there. Yeah, so there you go. That was a good, like 3.5, 4 minute video. Done. So if you don't want to spend that much, you can buy a bunch of those. So that is that. And Mark says, awesome take, thank you. Yeah, I think it worked out good. That was good. So we got something done today. And actually, I got some stuff done this morning. I got the computer upgraded because I'm not having big problems, but I noticed a weird little glitch. And this is with my production machine. And I'm seeing a couple, I'm going to take a picture of this for my vMix group, just to make sure I'm not crazy. Because I haven't been monitoring my frame drops, but I'm getting, this is over the course of an hour here. I'm just taking a picture of the screen. I got about 6 drop frames from this camera over the course of an hour and a half, 11 from that camera, and 6 from above me. And I don't know if it's like what the cause of that is or if that's just normal. So I got to figure that out. I'm using one of these deck link cards, and I got to kind of figure that whole thing out. And Mark Dell says, I got the same Visa card. Yeah, I use that Amazon Prime Visa. So I use that. That's like and what I like about it is that you get points that you can spend at Amazon. And I use that card I actually use like an ATM card. So what I used to do is I used to have the debit card, and I would go and just use the debit card everywhere. But you got to really keep track of, because your checking account, that stuff is going out. So I switched to a different model where I have a card that works like my debit card, except it just is a credit card. And then I pay it down once a month. So that's what I use that card for. And what's nice is that if you go to a restaurant, you get 2% back at restaurants. On Amazon, 5%. So it's a good, you almost get your sales tax back on Amazon if you use it with Amazon. Mark Dell asks another good question. How often do people need stands with their phone? Is it a common need? You know what it is? This is what prompted me to get it, was that when I'm on the plane, I'm sitting there holding the phone the whole time. I just don't like holding the phone. I want my hands free just to not hold the phone. So that's why I got these stands for that trip. I gave one to Jake, and then I had one in my bag, and then this one we just unwrapped a minute ago. I bought these like a year and a half. Here's another good reason. Carol uses a stand for Zoom calls. At the correct angle, it helps show off my fan and hide the clutter in the background. I'm assuming face and not fan. Maybe it was a autocorrect there. So yeah, it works out good for that too. All right, well, I got most of what I wanted to get done. And we'll get that clock replaced, and we'll get another clock, and we'll get that in. Because I really like the way it looks. It just doesn't work right now. So we'll box it up, we'll send it back, and we'll get another one, and we'll give it a shot. And they're very adamant about this don't touch the hands thing. It just seems like you don't want to make a product that fragile. But I guess that's the way it goes. So we'll see what happens. Amir Robinson just put those stands in the cart. Yeah, I'm telling you, these things, this is like, I mean, you think about it. If you're Amazon Prime members, you get $2.30 delivered each. You get one for the family. you can keep one in your, I keep one in my travel bag just so it's always there. And then you pop it in. And you look at this and it's like, gosh, is it going to hold up? And it's held up exceptionally well. Amir wants to know what's the build quality of the clock. It's not great, but it's not, I think what they looked at was what's the trade-off going to be here, right? It doesn't have to have good build quality because it's going to hang on the wall. So the most critical moment is when when it's shipping and when you take it out of the box. So that's kind of the thing. So we're going to get another one in, and hopefully that one will work. And we'll go from there. All right. Well, everybody, I did not accomplish everything I hoped to accomplish today, but I think we got a good amount of stuff done. And what we got on the docket, I'm going to be working tomorrow morning. I got in, this is a loaner. This is the ThinkBook from Lenovo. This is their 15-inch. And this one's kind of nice because it has a 4K 600 nit display. It's got built-in gigabit Ethernet. That's pretty cool. No Thunderbolt, though. And it's got a 1650 Ti Max-Q GPU. So we're seeing a lot of those in some of the stuff there. And if you are a photo editor, this is a color calibrated display, and they have a utility to manage the color calibration on it. But if you enable the HDR mode, it doesn't work. So you got to leave HDR off, and you get that. So it's nice. Actually performs pretty nicely. So I just got everything set up for it. Jake had done all his. So Jake does the first part. I do the second part. But it works pretty nicely. So that's coming up later in the week. So we'll go from there. Master Quiz Boy says, I'm late. Don't worry, because we got to come back to the clock. There's going to be a second live stream about the clock. So I'm going to get that ordered right now. And typically now, so Amazon delivers to my neighborhood now. So this stuff gets to me like super fast. So we may have this like, let me see if I can get it reordered in time here. Let me go through my, we order so much stuff. We were ordering a lot of stuff before the pandemic, but my goodness. So I'm going to do a quick return on this, and let's see how long it takes to get a new one. So I'm going to hit this, item defective, hit continue. It is not setting the time, hands look stuck. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to replace with the exact same item. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to do a UPS drop-off. Confirm. And we'll wait a second for that. All right, my label is ready to print. And I think we're good to go. So I will get this printed up, and then my replacement should be here tomorrow. Perfect. So we might be back again tomorrow with a replacement, and we should be able to pick this up and finish it up. So there you go. So I am going to head out, and we'll figure out where things go. Chris Allegretta is such a Lenovo fan. You know what I love about Lenovo? So you look at Apple. They got this, this, and this. Like they have a good, better, best kind of scenario. Lenovo just makes everything. I think they ship like, if I'm not mistaken, I think Lenovo is the market leader. I never realized how big they were until you look at some of these sales figures that come out. Lenovo ships a lot of computers. I mean, when I say a lot, now granted, a lot of that's going into commercial stuff, and they're shipping a lot because of the pandemic and schools and everything else. Yeah, so in the fourth quarter of 2020, Lenovo was the market leader by a good amount. They had 25% of the market. HP, 20%. This is fourth quarter. Dell, 17%. Apple, 8%. Just to give you an idea, like Apple is only 8% of the market, but everybody talks about Apple. That's where the innovation is, right? So it's pretty crazy. And then I got the sticky printer, so that's coming too. I ordered one of those. That looks cool. I don't do a lot of sticky notes, but I think my wife might like that because she likes the sticky notes. I'm just curious to see what you can print out on it. And I think it might be that's a fun visual for the channel. So that's going to be cool. And Martin Paolini says this thing with a track point would be awesome. You know what's funny is, so they launched the ThinkBook line. So this is like in between the IdeaPad and the ThinkPad. So it's like a less expensive device. It's made out of metal, so it has some of the higher quality build to it. But between the IdeaPad, the Yogas, the this, the that, and I've got another one over there, and I'm waiting now because they're sending me, they lend me all sorts of stuff. I think what they like about me is that I review all the cheap stuff or the cheaper lower end things. So they're sending me on loan, I'm not getting these things for free, the AMD version of the 14-inch. So I have the Intel one over there, which Jake just finished up, and then we're going to get the AMD version, so we'll do another head-to-head on that. That'll be kind of fun. So Mark Dell says, is my wife going to review the printer? No, she doesn't like to do on-camera stuff, but we'll see what we get here. And I knew I would get some abuse over these two things there. I'll tell you what, I love that M1. You can watch the video I just put up yesterday about it. I love the M1 Mac. I use a PC a lot. So look, everything that I do production-wise, PC. Everything else, editing and all of my day-to-day, I use the Mac. And I got the M1 MacBook Air. I love this thing. I can't tell you how much I love this computer. More so than I ever thought I would love it, because it does everything. Mike says, what if she wore a lawn mask? We could ask her. I could ask her. She did make an appearance in one of the live streams when we were visiting my brother, because she called me on the phone, and we were able to test the Starlink satellite system with a phone call with that. So that's where you go from there. Carol's got a Chromebook. I love Chromebooks. I love them all. I mean, I like to pick the best tool for the job. So for live production, PC, no question. No question about that. Gaming, PC, definitely. And when I game on the Mac, I'm logging into that Shadow thing that I've subscribed to. So I am constantly on PC for that. So there you go. Oh, here's a good comment from Gorilla. Yeah, you saw that video I did. Yeah, the Ultimate Game Club. So, and if you go back on my channel, you'll see this interview that I did with the Ultimate Game Club when I was 13. So when I was a kid, I was 13 years old, 12 and 13. I had a cable access TV show. And I was so amazed by the fact that anybody could have their own TV show. And I said, I have to have a TV show. In fact, I had the TV show before I even knew what I was going to talk about. And so I began doing a video game show. That was like kind of where I started. And then I didn't come back to this until much later in life. About 8 years ago, I started doing this again. But I got into the video game stuff because around that time was when all of the independent video game magazines started launching. And so I was getting information about upcoming video games in a way that you never really got before. Because prior to those independent magazines, and I'm thinking like Game Players, Electronic Gaming Monthly, all those magazines launched in like the very late 80s, like 89, 90, that time period. And so I was getting information about stuff happening in Japan that I was able to report on the show. And one of the big advertisers in the magazine was the Ultimate Game Club. And as it turned out, they were right down the street from me. So I would go over there and they would get all these import games in, and I would record video of these Japanese video games that I thought everybody would think was kind of fun. Amir thought I was a bit harsh on Intel. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion on that one. I feel like Intel, when I saw those ads that they've been running and I can pull up my slideshow on this. So they've been running these ads, like going after, and they're using the guy from the Mac versus PC things. And I just feel like this is not a well thought out ad campaign. And the reason I feel that way is that I review a lot of computers, as you all know. And I look at Chromebooks, I look at Windows machines, and I look at Macs. And for a long time, the performance curve on all of them was about the same, right? You bought a Mac, it had an Intel chip, it was going to perform, do the Mac things pretty close to what the Windows thing would do doing the Windows things. There wasn't much of a gulf. But now, with this M1 chip, it's, you could argue about the benchmarks and what's actually faster on paper, but I tend to look at reviewing laptops and computers from the standpoint of like, what's the consumer experience? And every laptop that I've looked at, that's right, Amir, 3030, that's it, check it out. Every laptop that I've looked at has been an incremental upgrade, and I've been doing this now for 6 or 7 years, and every time I review a laptop, and it's got a new generation chip in it, it's always a little bit better than the one before. And occasionally we'll see a nice little bump. Maybe there'll be some increase in graphics performance or something like that. We've seen that with the Intel chips over time. On the M1 Mac, the one that I have here, it feels, and this is like before all the hype and everything. I got it in right the day it came out. And there was certainly some hype ahead of it, but I purposely did not read any reviews of the M1 until I actually got it in my hands. So I wanted to do the things that I do with the Mac. And for a computer that is fanless, for a computer that consumes the amount of power that it consumes, the performance output doing the things that most normal people do with a computer. I'm not talking about all the high-end stuff. Somebody got hurt upstairs, I think. I just heard something crash to the ground. For the things that people do day to day with computers, like normal consumer kind of uses, the MacBook M1 chip is a huge jump. It is a huge, huge jump. And it doesn't mean that when you open this thing up, it is faster than the fastest Intel computer. It's not. But if you were to open this thing up and run the same thing on the Intel MacBook Air that was out just 2 months prior, it is, gosh, something's really going on up there. It is light years different. I mean, it's that different. And it's one of those things where when you use the computer all day long and you switch over to the Mac with the M1, it's very noticeable. And so one of the things that I'm not sure what's going on upstairs, but one of the things that you notice with it is a very big jump in performance, and that's something that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to be maybe like the prior version, right? Like, okay, it's running an ARM processor and it's just as fast as what we had before, but no, it's faster. So that's a big difference. Amira says, what about? Yeah, she says, my wife said, I hope you're done filming. Yeah, we're fine. Everybody okay? Somebody fell down and got hurt up there. The kids are tired. When the kids get tired, they really make noise. So Amir's asking about the dual monitor setup. Yeah, it doesn't do dual monitors out of a single port, but if you plug in 2 ports, dual monitors. So again, that's not something that's important to a lot of people. If it's important to you, then it's obviously not going to be the right solution. But again, I think when most people buy a laptop, I'm not talking about the tech people like you and me that watch this channel. When most people buy a laptop, they use it as a laptop or plug it into a second display or something, but they don't, you know what I mean? Like, they're not using it the way a lot of us use it. Chris Allegretta says here that the ad is not Intel's best work. You know what? I agree. And here's I got the best comment on the video last night. And by the way, like the price point, here's what I also, because there was some talk about, and Frank brings it up in the chat, about the price point of the M1 versus the Intel stuff. You've got to look at it in context. What's the context, the market for what Apple's providing, right? So the M1 MacBook Air is going to line up with the more premium side on the Windows side of things. So if you're looking for an inexpensive computer, Apple has never been your thing. You could buy a cheap iPad or something, but for the most part, Intel is going to run that lower end market price much better. In fact, AMD is probably going to be the one you're going to end up with. So that's not, my point is like, let's look at apples to apples. We're going to take this MacBook Air that you can get for, I don't know, $1,000, $800, whatever it is, compare it to the PC that costs the same. That's the market right now. And that's what I'm looking at. And so there was a comment that I got on, I want to show this to you because I think this was a really good comment. So let's look up, yeah, here it is. Because this is exactly what I was thinking, and this commenter, Vox Robot, was able to make what I was thinking, like what took me 30 minutes to explain, he described quite well here. So Vox is in the marketing world. And I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts this was a client-led initiative. And that's exactly what I was thinking. Because I've done a little bit of this marketing stuff myself. And I have friends that work in this industry. And I'll hear people talk about, my client wants to do X, right? And you know what I mean? Like, I was looking at this thinking, like, there is no way that any advertising professional would have recommended they do what they're doing right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is exactly, just read that, pause and read the comment, because that's exactly what I was thinking, that it's just like, this was not thought out. And so then they go after the dongles and all this other stuff, like they had this tweet they sent out, and you can watch my video to get the whole picture, but they sent out this tweet where he's like holding the dongles like, oh, you know, like this is a bad thing. This is Intel's thing, Thunderbolt. They want this. That's what they were pushing. They designed it with Apple to get rid of all these ports and just have one. The USB-C that does it all. That's the thing. So I'm like looking at this like, you're trying to make a, like a comparative, but it's your technology that you're comparing against. You know what I mean? It just didn't feel thought out to me. That's what really bugged me about the whole thing. And I'm an Intel fan. I have, for every computer that I have purchased, with the exception of this Mac here, I build Intel PCs. When I was doing IT work, I built Intel-based servers with Intel motherboards because I knew those would work, you know? So I'm not against Intel at all. I'm like, I feel bad because like I feel like they're doing the wrong thing. That's what's bugging me. So that's that. All right, so let me take a few more questions, and then I got to go. Exactly, Master Quiz Boy. This is exactly the thing that I was thinking, that they're cutting. Everybody is able to explain things much better than I can. That's exactly what I was thinking. Cutting off your nose to spite your face. And Mark Dell is right. Yes, you know, this is what's interesting too, is that the PC market has come alive again. So now there's competition and competitiveness. So we'll see where it ends up. Frank Cromer says, I want to compare the M1 to a PC that performs at the same level, more or less. So I would say the M1 will perform. So this will be, because of the GPU in this one, this is like a 11th generation i7 and a 1650 GPU. The M1 will perform slightly below this. So this one is a little quicker than the M1 because of the graphics. And single core performance, and like again, you can get into all these weeds, but like, what's the consumer experience? Does it feel fast to me as a consumer? M1 does, without question. We got some discussion of containers. Yeah, I need to do a whole thing on containers. My apprehension with containers right now is that they're not point and click. And I think that's like what you know what I mean? Because I know if I do a how-to, it's going to get really complicated. And I think people want a point-and-click kind of solution. The Synology is coming up with a new operating system version, and I'm eager to try out the beta. I got to download it because I want to see if they've improved that workflow a little bit. So we're going to look at that. Hello, Maria. Maria joined us on Amazon chat. A lot of times people are trying to see if this is actually live or not. So we'll see what we get there. Yeah, we're okay, Carol. I think my wife got it all under control there. So we'll figure it out. Yeah, I think what we are going to see, just to Mark Dell's point here and to Tano's points here as well, I think the next MacBook Pro is going to have more ports on it because people have been complaining about that. And so that's what I'm focusing on there. Roger here says, no question, just want to say thanks for all the hard work on the content. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes, this is like, sometimes what you don't see, like the problem we have with the clock here. So we'll have a new clock tomorrow. We're going to try this all over again tomorrow. But tomorrow we'll get the new one in, we'll give it another shot. So I'm going to shoot the computer in the morning, and then we'll be back here around the same time with the clock, hopefully. So we'll give that a go. Mark Dell says adding containers on QNAP is super easy, so we'll give that a shot. But back to Roger's point here, occasionally I'll be working on a video and I have to abandon it because something stopped working. So that's how it goes. Amir enjoys the live streams and the integration with the audience. Yeah, it's fun to bring everybody in. What I really want to do is I want to start taking calls, and I need to work on a workflow for that. And Mark's got some, yeah, so I haven't played with the QNAP container station, and I do need to play with that. So I will work on that. Chris Allegretta wants to know, can I ask Lenovo why someone hasn't taken what Dell did with a 13.3 on an 11.6-inch size laptop and do a 12-inch screen on a 10-inch body except Surface? Yeah, I've talked to a few people in the industry about the bezel thing and the screen size. And apparently, there's they're all buying displays on the commodity market, so to speak. And apparently the bezel size is due to the connection to the motherboard. And so I think if you're producing a lot at scale, it's hard to get that bezel down. But yeah, that XPS 13 is great. I love the form factor. Although, what you'll notice on the XPS 13 is more backlight bleed on the side. And I think that's a function of that bezel being so small. And Reese says, what about the vMix call for the call-in show? And the one problem with vMix call is that you can't trunk up callers. I'm going to ask them about that, because what I want to do is here's the link, call in, right? And then I can have Jake or somebody screening those calls off air, and then we can bring them on. The problem with vMix call is that if you're on and somebody else clicks the link, it knocks you off. So there's no busy signal. So that's the big problem with vMix call right now. Mark thinks that Telegram might work, so that might be something we try out, because he said there's some pretty cool group stuff in Telegram. Yeah, what I want to be able to do is almost like a webinar thing where I can bring people up, have them offline and then bring them up. Clubhouse is doing that with audio. So that might be something to look at. And Carol, can you send me some links to the K580? I'm assuming those are Logitech. What are those? Let me take a look at those. Yeah, I don't think I've looked at these yet. And this is the 580, and then there's the 780. I should probably get some of those in. Those usually show up on the Amazon Vine program. Yeah, and these are like multi-device keyboards, so you can have multiple things connected, and then they've got, you can put your phone on it and stuff. What's cool is that you can switch. So you hit a button, and it just it has 3 different Bluetooth IDs. So you can often very quickly jump back and forth to different ones. I may try to get some of those in. And here's a good, yeah, so this is where it gets complicated. But right, you could deploy a free PBX SIP solution. That might be a good Docker thing, right? Load up a little Docker computer and kind of figure it out from there. Amazon customer, any recommendations for a 70% mechanical keyboard? I'm not sure what you mean by a 70% mechanical keyboard. Maybe 70% mechanical? We looked at that hybrid, I don't know where it went. We reviewed that hybrid Razer keyboard the other day, which was not mechanical, but it clicked. That was kind of neat. What am I using? Upstairs I have a Razer optical keyboard, which is okay. I like Logitech has their own key switches, so I use one of those over there. I kind of like that one. Corsair makes some nice stuff. A good mechanical keyboard is going to cost you because those switches cost money. But there are some good ones out there. Logitech has a good, 70% in size, Tano says. I haven't looked at one to really give a good recommendation. Let me look on Amazon real quick and see what they have. 70%. Raymond Mulvihill just started following us on Amazon. I see. 70% is just 70% of the keys. Yeah, I see a bunch of them up here. I'm going to need to investigate that a bit. There are some pretty cool looking keyboards though. I like the minimalistic thing. Here's one from HyperX. And I haven't tested any of these, so please do not like take this as a recommendation until I try one out. I should reach out to them. So HyperX makes some really good stuff, and what's nice is that, you know, they're not the best, but they're consistently decent. And this one's got Cherry MX blue switches. I wonder if they have different, yeah, they have red and blue. So I like the reds a little bit better. Yeah, it's about $70. But they're often like at a good price point, both for their headsets and some of the other stuff. So they don't quite break the bank, but they're higher quality. So that would be one worth looking at. You know, the Razer stuff is nice, but my problem with Razer is that they make you install the software that you may not want to use. So I'm not always keen on those. Let's see, 70% mechanical. But like the HyperX, just from some of the other things I've tried, are pretty good. I think Kingston owns them. I'll try to get one of those in. That might be a fun one to look at. Venice Williams wants to know, what is my live stream setup? Camera, lens capture, and software. So I am using vMix for all of my production work. It's a PC-based application. If you go on my Amazon profile, here, I'll show you what it looks like here, because I have most of this stuff on my Amazon page. So let me pull it up here real quick. The cameras I'm using are these JVC camcorders, and there's a whole reason why I got these a while ago. They were the only thing that could output 30p HDMI. There's better options out there now. These are JVC 4K. I'm not using 4K. Let me look and see what the model number is on these. These are JVC GYHM170Us. I'm not crazy about them. They get a lot of lens distortion around the edges. The dynamic range isn't very good on them. But if you go on my Amazon profile here, I did a whole video on my vMix setup. Let me see if I can find it. Because I do a lot of like production videos that kind of pepper in with my other content. It's about 45 minutes long, and I detail like how I'm using vMix. Here it is. So vMix from scratch. So you can see my workflow essentially with this video here. It's about 44 minutes long. But vMix, I found, you know, you could, so here's what's great about vMix. It has different versions. You could go out and spend $12,000 on a TriCaster, or you can get a decent desktop PC and run vMix. And if you got a good amount of capability on that PC, it's going to work, I think, just as well as a TriCaster will. But yeah, definitely check it out. And then if you go to Lon.TV/production, every production-related video I've done since the beginning is on there. And you can, it's kind of fun to go back in time because you can see how I started and what I ended up going up to. And then tomorrow or the next day, if you want, follow me on Amazon, because when the videos go up, I'm not sure if they notify you yet, but you'll be able to find me again, because I also will be reviewing this. You'll have a video coming up in the next day or two on this switcher. This is the ATEM Mini Extreme. And for a lot of people first starting out, I often like the Blackmagic stuff because it's everything you need is inside the box here. So this will live stream. This will record. It will. I mean, it is a kitchen sink kind of device. You've got multi-layer effects you can do. This is $1,000. The starting one is $249, which is super inexpensive. What's cool is that in addition to outputting HDMI and everything, you can plug it into your computer with USB. And even the least expensive one is a webcam. So yeah, if you go to that production link, Lon.TV/production, you'll see all of this stuff in there. And there's a lot. And then on Amazon, I've all of these videos. So Amazon doesn't have a way for me to make a playlist of videos yet. I'm going to recommend that to them, actually. Because I have done, how many am I up to? I have at least 55 videos of production-related stuff. And I am not like a trained engineer. I just kind of futz my way around with everything here. And I get it all working, so check it out. All right, I got to run because I have hungry children and I got to start cooking. But set your notifications, and if you're on Amazon, follow me because we're going to get our replacement clock in tomorrow. So we'll have that ready to go. So be on the lookout. All right. Well, thank you all for bearing with me here. And I am going to put up a end of stream notification here. And I think what I'll do is I'll wear this sweater tomorrow so I don't have to reshoot the beginning of the video that I did already. So we'll pick it up from where the other one left off. So that'll be how we do it. And smash that like button and ring the bell, as Mark Dell says. And thank you, Brian Parker, for once again being so generous. I appreciate everything that you do for me. He gave a super chat earlier. So yeah, and if you're on Amazon, and even if you're not on Amazon, head over to Amazon and follow me, because I do live streams here and on Amazon, and the Amazon stuff is great. I'm trying to build up, so I like to be like early on a platform, so I'm early on Amazon, so I would love for you to follow me there. So there you go. All right, everybody, I will catch you on the next one, and we'll pick this clock thing up tomorrow, because I'll get a new one tomorrow, super quick. And thank you, Mark Dell, for your help as always in the chat room. And I think I'm almost ready to get that thing over to you. So send me an email. We'll get all of our business transacted. We'll get that 3DO thing going and all that good stuff. So I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, everybody.